Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. This is the second video on my channel, so if you're here, thank you so much for watching. Today I want to talk about the glass cliff and how it impacts Black women specifically. Now, the glass cliff is a term that I recently came across, maybe in the past few months. I saw an article on CNN actually that mentioned it, but when I read it and connected it to what I experienced in the workplace, I'm recently coming out of a very toxic job. Sorry if you hear my dog barking down here, but I'm coming out of a job that was very toxic to my well-being, really impacted my health, my mental health, my physical health. And I thought it was going to be my dream job, and it ended up being a complete nightmare. And one of the reasons for that is because of the glass cliff, this phenomenon where Black women specifically are being given these like Herculean tasks. Come in, solve all these issues for our organization. We're not going to give you any guidance. We're not going to give you any support. We're not going to connect you with mentors to help you along, but we trust that you can get it done. And so we take on these tasks because many times we're very passionate about the work that we're doing. So for me, I was given the task of leading a strategy to help close the racial wealth gap. Now, going in, my background is in finance and Black studies. I double majored. So I had an understanding that one organization cannot close the racial wealth gap, right? The United States is predicated on the whole concept of a racial wealth gap. That goes into land theft, enslavement, which is for another video. But we're given these tasks. We're given these like huge roles. And especially after the racial reckoning of 2020, a lot of us are in these like DEI roles. DEI meaning diversity, equity, inclusion roles. We're put in these roles in organizations that are hostile towards us coming in. So already off the bat, you have that. And the people who are hiring you are not honest. They're not being honest about what you should expect. And the whole thing of Black women are superheroes. We're superwomen. We can come in with like no direction and just make everything just like so much better. We can save everyone essentially. And we know that that is a racist and sexist trope. And it's actually, I'll speak for myself, it actually played a huge role in really impacting my health, my mental health, my physical health, because my mental health was impacted so badly. And every time I would ask for help, I was not being taken seriously. And I carried a lot of blame, a lot of shame, like, man, I should have spoken up. I should have said something was wrong before I got to the point, because I ended up having to take a medical leave that wound up being unpaid at an anti-racist organization. And I was a Black woman leading a racial equity strategy, but that's a whole thing in and of itself. But yeah, we're given these huge tasks, these huge roles. And the thing is, if the support was there, with how dedicated, although my mindset has completely shifted thanks to people like Stephanie Perry, that I don't need to be that dedicated ever again in my life to a job. My worth doesn't come from a job, which is something I've had to learn over the past year. But we're given these roles and then we're sent off a cliff. We're sent off a cliff. And in the process, our mental health is greatly impacted. Because a lot of us, before I went on this journey of unlearning, really understanding the roots of this being enslavement and being the dehumanization of me and other Black women. I took this on myself. So if I wasn't able to get the results, not given the support, not given direction, doing what I thought was best without any of these things, and then being told I'm doing them wrong, well, you didn't give me any direction. So you're setting us up to fail, which is the whole point of the concept of the glass cliff. We're being set up to fail. And in the process, because we have been told that we have to internalize, that's what we do. We internalize these really unsupportive work environments, the lack of direction, the lack of mentorship, the impossible roles that we're given, especially after 2020. A lot of us are in DEI roles, DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion roles at really, really oppressive organizations. And so we're given these literally impossible tasks to achieve, not given the resources, not given the support, not given a roadmap, not given mentorship, not given anything that we would need to succeed. But people think that we can do it because we're dehumanized. These racist and sexist tropes of Black women being superwomen and being able to save everyone and come in and just completely, like with our magic wand, like fix all of the problems that are so deeply rooted in these oppressive institutions and organizations that we're tasked with leading, but no one wants to listen to our opinion. It literally, we're sent off a cliff. And I feel like the purpose and one of my goals in this channel, because I have learned from so many amazing Black women over the past year, that I have really taken this journey of self-discovery and unlearning and not colluding with my own oppression. Those Black women, I have to mention them: Stephanie Perry, Alicia Renice, Dr. Kamani Norrington Sands, Colette Elizabeth. Thank y'all so much. And so many more Black women I have learned from. But these huge, we're given these responsibilities that, first of all, it's not a responsibility to fix issues we didn't create, but we feel like we can do it. And I am in a unlearning colonization course right now with Doctora Rocio Rosales Mesa. In her, like, the way that she teaches is that something she has taught me already is the importance of unlearning colonial servitude for women of color. And it's so important because colonization has told us that we have to be the backbones. We have to take on these responsibilities of fixing an issue we didn't create. Why? Why isn't it on us? Why do we take that on ourselves and then we internalize this self-blame, this shame that comes on when we can't do it, when we can't meet the metrics that we were given? There's no wonder we're set up to fail. It's the glass cliff. And I know for me, as a first generation college graduate, given this task, and I had so much of my worth was really tied to my work for so long. So when I was given this task of leading the strategy, sent into a hostile environment where people didn't want to listen to me, I experienced from pet to threat, which is a concept I just learned on Dr. Kamani's channel. I will actually link more information about that in the description box, because these three amazing Black women professors came up with this term, and it really helped me understand what happened to me. Because I have the degrees, right? I have literally the perfect degrees to be in this role: finance, Black studies, and I have a graduate degree in social work and economic development. I have the degrees. There's a point where you realize the degrees mean absolutely nothing because people are still hostile towards you, even more so. Because they want to be the ones to have the answer. And when you have the answers, and no matter how you put in a point of disagreement, or even adding your knowledge, right? Stuff you have studied for years, your lived experience, they don't want to hear it. And so how are we supposed to do this? This is a losing battle. This is a bait and switch of DEI work that so many Black women are put into, and we seek out, right? Because we think it's our responsibility. It's not. It's not. These problems have existed for centuries. And I don't say that to say that nothing can ever be made better, because I don't believe that. But we have to be honest about how long these systems have been in place, who created them, and it's not our responsibility to fix them. Now, that being said, they have been in place for centuries, but I don't want us to forget there are thousands of years of history before colonization, thousands of years of knowledge that we have access to. We can access. It's not lost. It's buried. It's hidden. We can always retrieve it. And I feel like that is what I'm being tasked with now. To really sit, study the past. And I'm talking the past before colonization. Because especially growing up in the United States, we're indoctrinated with the belief that history only started with the creation of the United States. That's completely and totally false. Indigenous nations existed for literally thousands of years. There were hundreds, thousands of indigenous nations on this land before the United States was ever even thought of. So that being said, getting back to the glass cliff concept, it's not our responsibility. It's not our task. We're being set up to fail. And please don't internalize any of this. If you are a Black woman going through this right now and just hearing this concept for the first time, externalize. Put the blame where it needs to be put. Put the blame where it needs to be put, please, on the systems, on the people who set you up to fail. This wasn't an oversight. This is intentional, because they see our power and they really want to crush it. That's gross, but it's true. They see how much power we have, how much knowledge we have, how much influence we have. And that is a threat to the social order. So then we're set up to be let off a glass cliff. Our health is shattered many times. Our self-esteem is shattered. But even if that happens, we can always get it back. We can always put ourselves back together in community. And that is the goal of my channel. So with that, I think I want to wrap up here, but thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, please comment, please like, and let me know if this was helpful. Thank you.